Hey people, Tony here, and welcome back to Tiki Bird Game Reviews, and welcome to episode 98. Yeah, we're inching up closer and closer to episode 100, so definitely be on the lookout for that, because like I mentioned for episode 100, I have something special planned for that episode, and you'll find out what it is when we get there. But now we're on episode 98, and we're gonna talk about a series that pretty much started the 3D fighting game franchise series and stuff like that for the PlayStation and such. And this series was known to be as the very first fighting game franchise to use weapons and stuff. And even though this series started it, the fighting game with weapons and stuff like that was pretty much popularized by the Soul series, mainly starting out with Soul Edge, Soul Blade, and Soul Calibur and stuff. And it pretty much popularized and stuff, But for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Battle Arena Toshinden series, made by Sony Computer Entertainment, and this will be divided up into 3 parts. Part 1, we'll look at Battle Arena Toshinden. Part 2, Battle Arena Toshinden 2, and Part 3, Battle Arena Toshinden 3. And we have a lot to talk about here, so let's get started with talking about the original Battle Arena Toshinden for the PlayStation, and then later released for the Sega Saturn, but the PlayStation version was released in 1995. Now, going into Battle Arena Toshinden, the original one to be exact, this game is an okay game, let's say an average game at that, and stuff like that. It's just that when you play the game, play the first game in Battle Arena Toshinden today, the game's problems really show, and they do affect the game for a lot of people these days and stuff like that. Now I know a lot of people retired the series when Tekken came out and stuff like that, but I still, since me loving fighting games, I still give it a chance here and there and stuff like that, because I do love the series, but just that the first game, it was the first game, and it had a lot of problems that it needed to work on and stuff. But I'll talk about those later on, what those problems are. But like, let's get started here. And stuff like that, and we're gonna talk about the story. The story just pretty much talks about like the Battle Arena Toshinden tournament and how people are from around the world enter the tournament to defeat the evil guy and just win whatever the heart tells them to, like for money and stuff like that, or other stuff, or to do whatever they could to satisfy them and stuff. It's a very simple story. I mean, it's a fighting game, so we're not gonna take any points off it and stuff. The only known hit of a story in the game is through the opening cutscene where the text scrolls up. But of course, you gotta look in the manual if you want more of the details and stuff. And into this game, you have 8 different characters to choose from. The character I'm gonna be playing as is Sophia, the Russian buxom babe and stuff like that. I'm gonna be playing as her. In all three parts. That I just wanted to get that out of the way. So I'll just talk about that in a little bit. But like, getting back on track here, let's talk about the game's presentation. Now, for the first 3D fighting game for the PlayStation, it looks okay. I mean, like, it hasn't, like I said, the graphics have not aged the greatest here and stuff, but like, for its time, the graphics looked pretty good. I mean, like, nowadays the character models look kind of blocky and stuff like that and such, and the backgrounds don't look that great, but it's understandable because this game was released in 1995, and it's actually a port of an arcade game as well. So that's understandable. But the main complaint I have with the presentation and stuff is the frame rate. The frame rate is bad. It's just that it slows down in the single digits and stuff at times, and just gets pretty choppy and slow. And like, I know this was an early PlayStation game, but there were other games that had a smooth frame rate. So like, if you look at games like Ridge Racer, which came out as the first PS1 game in here in North America and stuff, that had a smooth frame rate throughout the entire game for the most part. It makes you wonder what happened here. I mean, I'm not going to take points off of the graphics. I know the graphics are not going to look that great because it's an early PlayStation game, but the frame rate is no excuse. I'm sorry, the frame rate's no excuse. They could have ironed out the problems with the frame rate. Now, for sound's not bad. I mean, I like the music. The music is like these ambient industrial tunes and stuff like that and such. And some of them sound good, some of them not the greatest, but still, it's a hit or miss with the music. I didn't mind most of the songs. There's some I didn't like, but I'm okay with it. But the voice acting is not good. The voice acting is in English, and the original voice acting was in Japanese, and I do prefer the Japanese more, but there's no option to listen to the Japanese, but they should have kept it in Japanese. But I'm not gonna take points off because it's the first game, so just like, it's just that the voice acting could have been better, and they had the Japanese speech, it would have been just stuck with the Japanese. The English is not the greatest in my opinion. I mean, I know like top-notch voice acting was not a thing, but the voice acting here is just not the greatest. But now let's get into the gameplay, and we have a lot to talk about the gameplay here and stuff like that, and stuff that there are some problems that are going to affect my score for this. Like, you have 8 characters to choose from, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm playing as the Russian boxing girl, Sophia and stuff, and I'm just getting out of the way again and stuff because it's my favorite character in the game. But the problems I have with the gameplay start off with the very stiff controls. Like, these controls are stiff. Like, it's very hard to pull off certain special moves, and you just end up just pressing the buttons over and over, just like mashing them like attack and stuff. I mean, for the most part, some of the special moves work out fine, but certain ones it's harder to pull off. And I'm doing the moves the way they say in the manual and stuff, and they just don't work sometimes. I mean, sometimes they work, other times they don't. But the controls could have been ironed out here a little bit. And also the opponent AI is unbalanced for the most part. Like, most time the opponent AI is very easy, but there are times where they'll get very cheap and just like you'll be winning and all of a sudden they'll just take like a lot of your health away, and then boom, there you go. Especially the final boss fight with Gaia. He's a cheap ass motherfucker, and he will just like frustrate you to the point where you want to turn off the game if you're not good at fighting games and stuff. And that's what it is. But it is still, even though I said all that stuff bad stuff about the gameplay, there are still some good things about like the variety of stages you go to, and like a lot of the characters you play as have like a nice variety to them. Like the main character, EG or IG, or pronounce it and stuff like that, who's like some young samurai guy, and I mentioned Sophia and such and stuff, and like the characters all look cool and stuff like that. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the characters and stuff, just that this game could have been ironed out a little more and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's just, I mean, like, I'm gonna be a little generous here because since I love fighting games, I'm going to be generous here because I'm not going to give it a super low score like that, because it is for the first PS1 fighting game, or one of the first ones, it's still worth checking out and stuff. But it's just like there are some problems that do affect it and stuff. I mean, like, I know I said a lot of bad things about the gameplay, like with the stiff controls and the unbalanced AI, and the boss fight with Gaia was very cheap and stuff like that, but still, it's fun. It still has some fun factor to it and stuff. I mean, because like it shows like what the PlayStation was capable of when it comes to fighting and stuff like that. How the graphics are going to get better and stuff like that. I mean, like, I would only be able to recommend it to like hardcore fighting game fans who want to check some stuff out. Check out the stuff that the PlayStation had when it came out and stuff, so I can recommend that. But like, there are better fighting games out there and stuff like that came out. I know they came out after this, but if you have like a bunch of fighting games in your collection, just check out the Tekken series or the Mortal Kombat series or Soul Blade and stuff like that. I know it's rude and selfish to compare games that came out after Battle Arena Toshinden and stuff like that and stuff to this game, but still, it's just that I guess that this game could have had more work done to it and stuff. I mean, I'm going to be generous and not give it a super low score, but it could have been better. So what's my final verdict here? It's an average fighting game, but it could have been better. I mean, like, it's just, I know, like they usually say, the first one is going to be the worst, like that, the first one's going to be the roughest, so, and this is the case for that. I mean, like, I don't hate it that much, but at the same time, I don't love it that much and stuff like that. So, what's the score I'm going to be giving it? Probably gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10 because like it's the best score I could give it. I mean, like, they tried here. Sony really tried with this game, but then again, it still had some problems that it needed to be worked on and stuff. I mean, that's just me, but it could have been better. But I'll give it a pass because like it was one of the first 3D fighting games for the system. But we're not done here though. For part 2 of episode 98, we're going to look at Battle Arena Toshinden 2 for the PlayStation and stuff. And of course, this is another game that's in the long box here, and like if you can find it in the long box, hey, great collector item and stuff. And does this game improve over the original Battle Arena Toshinden, or does it make the problems that it had even worse and stuff? Well, the only way you're going to find out is if you check out episode 98 part 2 of TT Burger Game Reviews, and if you look at Battle Arena Toshinden 2. Now, those of you who are new here and stuff like that and are just subscribed here, feel free to subscribe. like the video, feel free to comment down below, and just join my Discord group, TT Burger Gamers United, because we're always looking for more people to join, and I'm always looking to talk to my fans and subscribers and stuff. That's pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony, peace out, and have a great day, and stay tuned to see you all in episode 98, part 2.